Thanks so much. Jim Bob Jim over on the desk. Obviously a good friend of ours, Mega Man. We spend a lot of time with that guy.
Yes, indeed. He's actually relatively new to the scene. We had a nice discussion with him yesterday about some of the ups and downs that Counter-Strike has gone through in the past year or so. But we're going to hop right into this one, and I believe... Okay, we did miss a round. Unfortunately, these guys wanted to get rocking and rolling immediately into this one. And so Denmark does pick up the pistol round, and they're going to be onto a pretty big buy here. 3 AKs and 2 umps, not messing around to start this one off, Jackie.
Yeah, it's true. A lot of pressure coming out as they just try and pinch their way in towards the A-bomb site. The bomb left towards the top mid as well, so they can scavenge that if anyone goes too far south. The scout coming out off Splash Key will take down Cadian here. So it is left into a 4v4 fairly early on into the round, and a little bit of a lull falls across the battlefield, actually, Mega Man.
Yeah, very accelerated strat from Denmark, but now they've kind of fallen flat on their feet, back on their heels a little bit, thinking about going back maybe towards this B bomb site. You see the bomb rotating around through those B halls. And look at the fortification that's coming out from the CT side. They've actually rotated 2 players over here. Tommy's going to be over there as well as Deja Vu. So we'll see if they can lock this one down. And so far, so good. They get a 1-for-1 trade. They've still got a player in the back lines over there that's just going to be able to wreak a little bit of havoc. They haven't cleared out Tommy, and he's going to be able to find one more. And Moxie with the one-banger takes down Valde. And that leaves Glace all by his lonesome in a 1 versus 3. He's got a lot of work to do, and he's going to get spotted out. In Singapore, they answer the call. They come right back into this one, and they also salvage 2 AKs and an ump to go forward into this anti-eco round.
Yeah, that was a nice way to actually play that round out. I mean, obviously we don't really have too much of a basis to see what Denmark did in their pistol round, so we don't know how they actually got into that situation and how that went through, but it looked good into that second round. They had that early dominance towards mid, found their way through connector. Map control was fairly lax, so Singapore breaking, bending but not breaking. They were allowed to fall back, reposition, give map control to Denmark, but they could still find those initial frags to take them down. This time around it's a bit of a different story. The fact Splashy's been picked off towards mid by Caden with just a measly 9 isn't too fantastic. It's getting a whole lot worse as well with Snappy. We know how powerful this man can be. He bursts out onto the site, not only does he get that initial frag, Mega Man, doubles it up for free.
Yeah, now they've got full A site control, bomb planted, like having an extra player on the field, and a missed flashbang in towards the murder hole is going to at least allow the Denmark side, the Danes, to know that there was a player over in CT spawn. They're going to be able to play this one slow. And look at how that economy has kind of recycled itself. You've got an AK and an up now back in the hands of the terrorist side. And Snappy, well, he found those 2 really quick back-to-back Tech 9 frags, and now they've got really good control over towards this A-bomb site. So coming around, though, Tommy, he's able to get the flank out, but immediately it's rectified as Deja Vu goes down, and there's that late flank play coming around. Waldy from CT spawn is going to be able to find Tommy, and that's going to be the call back towards Denmark. So we see the trades of rounds coming out. It'll be interesting to see if Singapore decides to force into this one or not.
Yeah, what the actual call is going to be for that side. Not going for the horse just yet, just going to be riding it out with the cash. In terms of utility, though, I do want to see what they've actually gone for. So just the 1 flash on Benkai, actually. Oh, that is a miss-smoke coming out from Valde as well, so that's not going to be too grandiose into the round. Fast take just towards the A-bomb site. They walk out, just go for a contact style of CS. They find that opening fragment towards Moxie. Benkai going to get caught off guard as well. Tried to go for a little bit of a leap to get out of the situation, but couldn't really recover in time. Will get taken down. Glave's going to fire a headshot on towards Tommy as well. Some singing in my ear, Mega Man,
I know,
which is fantastic.
Somebody's
but we still see the push
beatboxing
coming in. Snappy will find the frag on towards Splash Key, and that was almost an exciting frag as the beatboxing we've just been listening to.
I know, I can hear it. It's still going in my ears. I don't think that they can hear that on the stream or not, but it's a little interesting to say the least. 3-1 for Denmark right now as they've started to equalize, started to normalize their money, and you can see Katie, and he's going to stay on the scout because this is potentially another save coming out from the Singapore side. And with that being said, we're going to see whether or not they can do anything with these pistols moving forward. Again, it's going to be a couple of P250s, 5.7, and a smattering of Deagles, so it's kind of the kitchen sink buy here as far as pistols are concerned for Singapore. We'll see if they can do anything with it. They had great success the last time around, and this time they only put armor on 3 out of the 5 players.
Still got beatboxed in my ear, of course. Can just hear that. If someone can turn that mic off, that'd be fantastic. Much like Snappy will be turned off by Benkai. Comes in with that frag, is able to punish him. Glaive will find one. Valde as well. The headshots coming out with these AK-47s as they sprint their way through. Cadian going to try and go for that push in towards CT spawn. Wants to find this frag. Some flashbangs through. Trying to go for the push, but Tommy will be the mean man to kick it off. Comes in from up top off the back of stairs. Will be able to jump down from that top rope and take down Glaive. Cadian and co trying to find it, but it doesn't matter. Actually, Valde walks through the smoke, rushes past him. They find that frag. Moxie comes in with one with the Deagle as well, and they pick up the round.
Ridiculous right there. Tommy with like the hero play, just dancing around the outside of that smoke. He actually finds his way back in towards the A bomb site to find a second frag while Valde was trying to get his way through the smoke and kind of interrupt that push coming from the Singapore side. But unfortunately for the Danes, they falter a little bit. Now they did have the money stocked up, so they're going to be able to invest fully into this one. They've got AKs on 4 players and an AWP as well, and they've also got an op in the hands of Splashkey over here on the CT side of Singapore. So we'll see if they're going to be able to do anything behind this right now. But it's a big buy for both sides. All of the eggs in one basket.
Committing quite heavily into this one. This area is actually going to go down. They all coming out. Splashkey towards top mid. He does peek out. Mega Man finds that frag fairly easy on towards Cadian. And that's a bit of a hindrance to Denmark. We've seen it seems a bit shaky. As per usual, it seems that's just the story of Denmark throughout the tournament. They can't quite get things working. Luckily, they begin to recover a little bit. Lane comes in. That's a massive frag on towards Tommy to get that man advantage. Another one as well. Splashkey tried to dive through the smoke, wanted to catch him off guard, but wasn't able to do so. Moxie should be able to press Valde though.
But he manages to get 1 kill. He needs to get the second one.
That's ridiculous. But now Deja Vu coming back in. Snappy, he's going to hit the dirt, and Glaive as well. So a nice play from Deja Vu as they bring it back into the favor of Singapore, and it's all going to be down to Glace, and he has to recover the bomb as well. He's going to be looking for it over here on the side, but as of right now, it's going to be very difficult for them to be able to make anything happen with this, as bomb control is in the favor now of Denmark. But look at the positioning here from the CTs. One from Connector, one flanking out through Palace, and as long as Deja Vu over from Connector can play this one slowly and actually does spot out that player, Glace moving towards CT spawn, so that might actually begin to make him second guess, but there's the insurance policy, and there's the round. Tied up 3-3 in Singapore. They're bringing the noise right now. This is a team that took Argentina to the brink, beat them 16-14 to start off their day yesterday, and now they've got a golden opportunity to do some damage against the Danes.
And that's the thing as well. This is just going to be horrific for Denmark because they've had nowhere near the tournament run they wanted so far. And it's just getting worse and worse by the moment. Up against Singapore right now that just look like they're starting to get a bit of a grip on them. They're beginning to manhandle them in some of these rounds. The only ones they've lost have been very close affairs where it's been slight individual mistakes where Denmark players have just stepped up for that one time. It's not really been Denmark, you know, overcompensating, going crazy. It's just been those few rounds where Singapore has just made slight mistakes. Into this one as well, they've got the smokes to work with. It will be that A take. Just try and divide out the site, zone off the CT so you can just push away and get the bomb plant. If you can do that, it's going to be fantastic. And that's all you can hope for. Benkai, he's in a prime time position, go absolutely massive. Starts to lay down the law as he comes to the 2-frag of authority. Moxie with the 2 of his own, and it's looking absolutely glorious. Snappy will luckily get the behind the main objective of the round, Mega Man. But there's the final frag coming in, and that will be another round on the board for Singapore.
And not only that, they maintain 4 players alive in this. They don't lose the AWP out of Splashkey's hands either. So big stuff from Singapore. Their economy is going to be looking pretty solid going forward into the next couple of rounds. And this is, again, Benkai. I was going to say that sandwich position can be so strong, especially when they're playing anti-eco. And you can see they didn't have a Molotov or a nade to flush him out from that spot, and he gets 2 kills basically for free. Almost goes in on a 3rd, but that also sets his teammate up for the spray down. Moxie from the back of the site's able to find those 2 kills. And Moxie actually off to a rip-roaring start. He's 8-3 on the scoreboard, so he's doing some serious work for Singapore. And now look at this. They're switching up the pace. They're going to go aggressive on more than one front. This should net him a kill, and it will. Benkai from Subway able to take down Snappy, and they also have a presence with an op up here in Palace, and there you go. Splashkey actually finds the frag on a Glace. So Singapore pulling out all the stops to start this one off. I love seeing this.
Yeah, this is a whole lot better from what I actually see coming out right now, and it's just getting even more fantastic as the second, as Benkai slides his way round, is able to overpower Cadian, who had the AWP there. He was just at top mid, was in that elevated sort of high angle, just sitting on top of boxes, wanted to try and find a frag, went overly aggressive and was punished because of this, and it's not gone too fantastic at all. It's looking like a bloodbath right now. Denmark are just getting conditioned to play a style of chess they don't want to play, but Singapore just have that grip on them. And it just looks like a whole lot more initiative coming out. They're going for these pushes. They're trying to go for these confident plays. They know they can back it up. And Denmark just look timid. Valde, he's going to be the one to have to try and be a bit of a playmaker towards the B bomb site. That's their last hope. Try and find your way in. If you can get those opening frags, they might be able to achieve something out of it. But a crossfire setup from the CTs in this position, you can't expect much.
I like this from Tommy, too. He's just blind spraying through the smoke, hoping to get lucky. And he almost actually does line that up, and now Deja Vu is just going to be able to jump peek, and they know exactly where that player is. Coming around the top mid, nice attempt there from Splashkey. Tries to get re-aggressive in a different area to try and find the player, but now they've also got Benkai, who's gotten 2 kills on the round so far, and they've isolated the bomb carrier. That's Glaive in bottom mid by himself. Now he's joined up with a teammate, but here's the flank play, and now they've lost the bomb. This is looking fantastic for Singapore to start this off, and there's Moxie. There's that late round backstab off of the push out through the A-halls, and that's a beautiful job from Singapore to bring it back into their favor once again. 8 rounds behind us, and it's a 5-3 scoreline with Singapore just having the lion's share.
And here's one of the things as well. It's basic CS in terms of that sort of situation. You always want to try and have someone in that buddy system that can complement you, get that trade frag. If you get taken down, you get that trade instantly and play off the back of it. Singapore have done a fantastic job of that. They've always got another angle covered, or someone's always close enough to be able to get that trade very quickly. Whereas Denmark right now, it just looks like they're all over the place. They're playing just on their own. There's not been that much teamwork coming out. We've seen one execute towards the A bomb site that looked rushed off the back of the eco. The rest of that has just been split and pick defaults where there's been no initiative, and it's just not working. You can't play that style against Singapore right now.
No, and here you go, long spray down. This is going to be a fake towards the B-bomb site with a late lurk on towards A. You can see 3 players geared up to do this, but Moxie, he's not fooled. He's just going to sit behind this smoke and just wait. He's going to allow his teammates to try to be successful on the other side of the map, and he's actually getting aggressive behind this, and this could be very dangerous for Denmark. He spots out one of the 2 players that's over there. Now he's going to be able to fall back with a flashbang to support, and he's not presenting himself to this player in Palace, and actually throws a little spam his way as well to keep him honest in that area. And now you can see Denmark, they're going to group up for this A hit. They do have 4 smokes. 3 of them just got thrown out, and now they're going to be hitting in towards A. Molotov towards the A ramp, 2 double incendiary, and a smoke goes out on top of it, but Benkai through the smoke finds the opener as well as Moxie. It's Glaze to answer back with the Desert Eagle, but it's going to shambles real quick for Denmark. They have to get out onto the site, and unfortunately, it's not going well. Benkai cleans up 3 in the round. Tommy gets the closing parting gift, and a 6th round now for Singapore. They're doubled up on Denmark.
I kind of get that Dragon Ball Z sort of vibe from Benkai. Like, I feel like this guy's kind of always been into that sort of scene. You know?
Well, Benkai is from Bleach.
Oh, is it from Bleach? That's why. It's that sort of vibe, you know what I mean?
It's Bankai, but yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Bankai. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen that series. But yeah, I'm getting that too. But it's like, you know, you hit your first level, and then that's like the next level beyond that. And right now, Singapore is showing us a different level. And I love this boost as well. It just doesn't work out. Cadian was in the right place at the right time, as well as Glaze, who does manage to find Benkai. So this is the best looking start to a round we've seen from Denmark thus far in this match.
And that's an understatement. This is the thing. They've been struggling to get that initial pick round after round. Now you get 2 basically for free as no one's taken any damage. You've got all utility apart from Cadian. This is just the glorious setup for them. This is where they want to be. This is textbook stuff. Now they need to roll through with it, though, because if we see them somehow turning this round away and being able to throw it, then I just don't know where Denmark are going to be mentally, because they've had situations like this in the past, but it's just been going so far south time and time again. Just keep it slow, though. You have the advantage into this one. You can try and play it out. You're aware that Singapore now, they have to fall back. Just try and complement themselves playing off those crossfires. Far too many angles to deal with. If you group up, use that utility, go for a late round A take, they cannot hold you back.
Not at all. They're not going to have the utility to fight that. You can actually see some pretty disciplined play here from Singapore. Look at the amount of utility that they do have still in the round. 2 incendiary grenades, 3 flashbangs, and an HE. You know, they don't have a smoke to cordon anything off, but they can at least burn some of these players out in post-plant positions, which is going to be beneficial for them moving forward. And the crazy thing to me is with the way that this match has gone so far, I've just been waiting for this round to fall apart for Denmark. Even though it's a 3v5 and there shouldn't be a way out for them to lose this one, I'm just patiently waiting for it to just kind of crumble. And that's a good start, though. Katie and Anglade both finding frags. This should be a round. A 1 versus 5 situation for Tommy, nigh impossible. And it looks like he's just going to fall away from this one and save over towards the B-bomb site, which is the smart decision. Keep the utility because they have stacked up some cheddar on Singapore. I mean, they've won, what, 3 rounds in a row? He actually salvages the AWP as well, so that's a nice swing in economy for him. So they might lose the round, but they're definitely still ahead in the fight.
Yeah. And this is the thing as well, it was a whole lot better because into that round you could see, after they got those initial picks, there was no rash decision making. It was slowed down, use our utility, we know we have a man advantage, let's just play off the back of it, and this is great as well. Tommy not being able to save that AWP is going to impact them massively going into things, and it's just the way that Denmark thought about it a lot more logically and what you'd expect to see from players of this caliber. You know, sure it's a mixed team, but it's still very basic CS. That game sense is always there. You should understand how to play out those situations, and it just looked rush previously, and they've thrown rounds away because of that, getting overconfident, thinking we can pick this one up, don't worry about it, just go for it, and Singapore just bounced back. This time around, a different story. If they can keep that up, this is the Denmark I want to see. Slash Key, he's always been a bit of a powerhouse. We've seen him with that AWP time and time again towards top mid. We'll scope out for information this time. No one's actually going to be there though. Back into the slow default. Valdi, he's tested the waters towards the A-bomb site. He does like to go for this contact style, just walk his way out, see if he can get that opening frag, and no one spotted him, Mega Man.
Oh, this is actually going to get scary. Yeah, he's going to get a little bit of a one-way in that one, and Benkai was just out on top of balcony. not going to be able to get any kind of a reply either from any of those players because those smokes were so all-encompassing in that A ramp. So now, again, Denmark, they're going to be with 1 foot forward moving into this round with the man advantage, and this is a nice find for them so far, as Benkai's been the one that's really been the nail of the thorn in their side over towards that A bomb site. And they still got to contend with Moxie if they do decide to push over there, which is going to be another trepidatious thing for them because he has been very solid playing from the triple boxes, playing from, you know, multiple different areas over there, and he stays mobile. And that's the thing that's scary is you don't know where this guy is going to be. Now this time around he's over by jungle. They've got an AWP to support from A ramp, but the flashbangs are on point, and Cadian is going to be able to get the opening pick to start opening up this bomb site. Now the thing that they've got to be careful about is Moxie.
Coming in from this power play position, pops out. Be able to get that opener. Lands the headshot into a 3 versus 3 now. Cadian watching towards CT. A nice little flick comes out as he snaps his wrist round. Another one on towards Tommy as well. And it looks good as Tommy is the last man standing, forced to fall back to try and hold the line, at least scavenge that weapon, as he really can't achieve too much. If he goes for the peak here as well, tries to get a little bit overzealous. He wants to try and achieve something into this. And Cadian, he has that up. That angle's going to be so easy to smite him down, Mega Man.
Yeah, but he's actually watching over towards CT. I don't think they know exactly where Moxie is. They knew that he was in jungle at the beginning of the round, but they know that he's fallen back since. So, looks like he just wants to go for some exit frags. Now he's falling back, and actually, luckily, he falls back this late because Glaive is going to be deep into the B-halls and not going to be able to hear that push towards topside mid. They are going to be relatively close to each other at the end of the round, but he will survive, which is pretty beneficial considering that their money was pretty evaporated at the end of that round. And Cadian, nice work from him. I think it was a 3K on the round ultimately from him to open up that bomb site, but it was Valde with the opening pick, finding Benkai up on top of the palace balcony that really kind of solidified the fact that they wanted to get in towards that A bomb site. So Denmark picking up a couple rounds in a row now, getting themselves back into this one and starting to look a little bit more comfortable, but here we see the aggression come out from Singapore again.
Yeah, and this is genius as well. They're going to get so much information off the back of this. This read will be huge, and Deja Vu can relay that now as well, because that means like it's under heavy attack. Everyone flooding their way out, but they do too much damage already. Those first 2 frags go in the way of Denmark. This is going to be a bit of a horrible situation. The rotate will come out from Singapore, but it's going to be hard for them to achieve too much if they want to try and bombard their way in. So many fantastic afterplants on display here from Denmark. They've got all of that utility still left. Sure, you've got 2 kits on the side of the CT, but 1 smoke, a Molotov to work with, and those 2 flashbangs, it's going to be hard. Not if you've got Benkai, though, apparently, and Tommy as well. Cadian actually overextends, goes for the peak. He didn't need to try and find that frag. They could have just stayed alive into that situation, but he smites him down, is able to obliterate him, brings it into a 3 versus 3 here, and this could go south for Denmark if they wanted to try and bombard their way in. Time, not really of the essence, though, so luckily Denmark are going to pick this up, but some of those faces just seemed a little bit illogical.
Yeah, a little bit. They might actually lose another member here over by Cadwalk because Benkai is over in Connector. It doesn't look like he's going to give himself away. He's kind of dancing on thin ice here. If he overextends, he could fall, but Glaive does salvage out the... well, they don't actually salvage the AWP. That's kind of a little bit of a misplay there. They didn't go back in towards the B halls to try to combat that and find that AWP. And I think it actually got saved. Yeah, it actually got saved on Splashkey, so he was able to carry that over into this round. So that's a nice find here, a nice swing for Singapore, because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to go for a buy. They kept 3 players alive. They're able to drop over some guns, and they got the AWP to bolster that. And Cadian, I know I heard it in your voice. That was a really near miss, but Splashkey's going to be given a golden opportunity to find a pick, but he's going to fall short as well as Tommy.
This is a whole lot different from Denmark as well. You can see the aggression here. This is the confidence we expect to see from these players. They're just walking in, they're taking the sites, taking these 1v1s and being able to land their shots. Whereas the previous games of the tournament, it's not been like this. It's been a little bit shaky. It seems like they've taken far too long to warm up. Therefore, they can't play this confident style. And that's how you want to play your T-half. You want to set the pace of the game. You want to be able to walk in, go for your executes. If you want to slow that down, condition the other team to play in that way. Or if you want to go for this confident style, walk in, all guns blazing, and be able to find those frags. You'd expect these players to be able to do that, and it's odd we haven't seen too much of it. Into this one as well, they do have the utility to work with, can go for that A take. They found a lot of success. I mean, Valde time and time again has just walked in for the opener. Cadian will be the one leading charge this time around. Unfortunately, Benkai will overpower him, hammers down with that 5-7, and he's able to leave him bloodied and bruised.
And dead on the ground as well. That's a nice find early on, but Tommy overextends over on Catwalk, and he's going to get caught out by Glaive, so they trade 1 for 1 immediately, and you can see that bomb already working its way back towards the B bomb site because they figured, all right, maybe we found a significantly more fortified A bomb site here with multiple players over here, and they can actually hear multiple players rattling off some shots from those 5-7. So they're going to leave a couple of players over in this area just to try to scout out for information, try to hold them honest for the time being. They actually flush out Benkai, and they get Moxie at the backside of default, and Snappy is going to find one over by window. So ultimately, they do converge on this A bomb site, and they're able to house, and it ends up being a pretty clean round for Denmark. Now, they do salvage the AWP as well, so a nice recovery from Denmark, and that's actually, 5 rounds in a row now for the Danes to work with. So nice stuff from them, nice recovery.
That's the thing as well. I mean, that A bomb site, that's where they need to call the plumber to as well, because there has been quite a major leak there. Every time, they're just getting picked off. Initially, this was the only round where actually KD did get punished for it, but Valdi has been able to walk in and get that opening frag just off a contact play far too many times. Singapore have got that massive leak. They're allowing them to just come into the site and take control easily. And look, that confidence is still on display. We want that mid control. We're taking that map control early. Valdi comes in with one towards the A bomb site. Again, he walks out and is given it for free. Takes down Benkai. Tommy will luckily have something left in him. That last bit of fight, the energy's there. Will obliterate Snappy and Cadian towards CT though. Valdi, he's still on a roll. This man's a maniac as he just walks through the site single-handedly, claiming it as Denmark's territory, and it falls to Moxie and Tommy.
Yeah, and this is, last round of the half, they have to go for this one, but this positioning for Glace is going to be dominant, and Tommy falls in the long run to Valde. It ends up being a 3K on the round for him, so he recovers nicely into the half. And the one that was kind of quiet throughout for the Denmark side was Glace. He didn't really seem to have a lot of the firepower going there as we do take a look at the Denmark side. Cadian sitting there in the middle, and then they kind of spread out, fan out around him. They've got those big-ass computers, man.
Yeah, those are huge. Those cases are unbelievable.
Yeah, monstrosities. They are really nice, though. I heard that they were like i7 4700Ks with GTX 1080s in them, so they're getting like 400 FPS or some ridiculous numbers on these maps. But going into the second half, Pistol, what do you think Singapore needs to do in order to recover? Because they had a great look at the beginning of this map, but like you said, it's funny to see that because Denmark was actually having trouble hitting that A-bomb site at the beginning of the map, and then they figured something out. They figured something out, and then it started clicking on all cylinders for them, and they were able to take A almost every single time.
It was after the point they just allowed Valdi to play his own CS style and just walk in and get those opening frags. It just sort of worked at this point, and everyone started to look on point. And Valdi, the man we're talking about, will get the opener on towards Benkai. Glace as well takes down Splash Key. Tommy just trying to push in, wants to try and get that bit of control so they can get the bomb down safely. Luckily, they do get it planted. That's better than nothing into the round no matter what happens. And they're just getting brutal, just completely just a brutal round coming out. I mean, that's just horrific to see. Only losing one member on the side of Denmark. Nice plays. You could see no one really overextended on their sort of defense there. They fell back. We're allowed to give out that map control to Singapore. Sure, you can get that bomb plant down. We'll allow that to you. Regrouped up, waited for the rotate to come in, and then just peaked as duos. And that's what Denmark we're used to seeing. But it just seemed like it's taken so long for them to finally get back into that mentality. Let's play together as a team here, use that communication, and it's the exact opposite of what seems to have happened to Singapore.
Yeah, I mean, Singapore, who looked so strong at the beginning of this one, has started to crumble under the pressure. And Denmark, like you said, finding their feet. And you can see it. It's Glaive and Valde that are leading the charge. Cadian's right behind him with 12 frags. But beautiful to see those guys stepping up when they need to. And it was a rocky start. Cadian, I mean, that's just insult to injury. Valde getting aggressive in middle as well. So they're going to be able to find a pair of frags. And Valde's going to look for even more. He's going to be able to spray down another. Even spins around, gets the one tap with the USP. 4 HP, falls back. It's the Cadian and Valde show in mid. 3 frags for one, 2 frags for the other. It's the full house. And they're going to be able to shut down that mid aggression from the Singapore side.
And that is just filthy as well. Look at this, as he just spams his way up. We'll get the first frag. And then Valdi as well, just coming into it. This is what we were just, you know, you look at that lineup. This is the sort of plays you expect coming out from some of these boys. This little flick here as well, the USP. It's absolutely
silly.
Cheeky, Megaman.
Absolutely silly. But, hey, he's one of those players that if you give an inch, he's going to take a mile every single opportunity that he gets, and that's case in point right now. It was a full save out of Singapore. They got the bomb play in the opener, so they're going to be going for this third round buy. Now, no AWP for Splashkey, but the big thing is he didn't really accomplish a lot with it in the first half. And they still had a UMP in the hands of the Danes, but that's already been, well, found a kill and been dropped, so it's going to be a little bit difficult in this boost on Catwalk. Glace, he's up in front of it, and he's going to be able to find Tommy, so it swings things back into the favor of Denmark as they do get that 2-for-1 trade.
Yeah, Benkai as well, trying to play around the smoke as he works his way through. If he can get from the back here and actually take down the back line without Glaive spotting him out, it could be quite a huge power play. He needs to kick things off really though, because if he goes for that spot towards mid, he gets some reclamation. Cadian repositioning as well, luckily plays into his hands like putty. He's able to take him down. Glaive is there, taps away. Has spotted them out, but can't quite connect the frags just yet. Goes back for more, but still bites off more than he can shoot. Deja Vu will come in and take him down. Valdi from the sidelines, though. It will not matter as he hammers away with that M4. Gets an easy 2K and will upgrade to the Kalashnikov to boot.
Yeah, and again, I mean, it's like you said, they were so flat-footed on the Denmark side at the beginning of this matchup, and now 19-9 for Valde. I mean, this is what we're used to seeing from him. Everybody that was saying in the Danish scene that this is the next big thing. This kid is the next rising star in the Danish scene, and these are rounds that you can see that. Now, granted, the Singapore side might not be the strongest team that he's ever going to be playing against, but we've seen him do some crazy stuff with Heroic in the past couple of months. And it's great to see him able to shake things off at the beginning of this one after a rocky start and start to perform very, very well. And Glaive right behind him with 17 kills. And there you go, Valde and Glaive. Talking about both of them, it's like they can hear us. They're just going to go big into the round again. There's the double from Valde. They do eventually both fall to Deja Vu and Moxie. And they do get a plan out of this. Cadian with the big flank. I'm surprised they didn't hear him, but it's going to shut things down right there.
And that's what's great as well. I mean, that's sort of that clear evidence there of that sort of that game sense. You can be able to lock that down. It's very easy to go for those pre-fires on those angles, just in those sort of situations. But it's just taking the situation, knowing when it's the right situation to go for it. And it's been so much good decision making from Valde time and time again. This is why he works great when he was going for that sort of aggressive lurk roll early on in that CT half, where he'd get in through the back line, be able to get 1 or 2 frags off the back of those entries, cause so much commotion that would draw out that over rotate from Singapore and allow Denmark to just do what they wanted off the back of it. It was fantastic because he knew when to overextend. He knew when to go for a play that was possibly a little bit too much because he could back it up. And this is what you want. You want someone with that much decision making, but with that crisp aim and those 6 shots to be able to back it up. And Valde right now, he is this is your perfect image of that.
Well, it's one of those walk the walk, talk the talk kind of things, and he's absolutely doing both. At the moment, firing on all cylinders, as you said. And I mean, he's 21 kills deep now. He just hit double digits on deaths. What more can you say about the guy? I mean, 3 rounds away from Denmark walking away with the day 2 opener. And honestly, we've seen moments of greatness from Singapore in this one. I just wish that they could start to lock it down a little bit more. And they're going to have an opportunity here. It is going to be another big buy down for him. They do have the AWP back in hand, but Splashgate, he's only got 3 kills on the match. And I don't think many of them were with an AWP, actually. So a little bit of a tough situation for Singapore to be in. And that's, an AWP on this map is so important for opening up bomb sites. Granted, you might not be able to be super mobile with that on the terrorist side, but even on the CT side, you saw him playing in the window position, and he just wasn't able to really get a lot out of that spot. So we'll see if they can revamp, see if they can, maybe get a round or 2 to start building that confidence back up. And this is a good play. Benkai's been boosted up in the window, and there's absolutely nobody watching this. It's actually Valde from a deep angle that's going to be looking for it, but he's going to have to find some shots. Unfortunately, not going to hit it this time around.
That's kind of the catalyst into this one as well, as you've now got that extra angle to try and enter the site from. Glaive just find that 1 frag on towards Splasky. He is able to at least batter him before they get their way in. But a 2 versus 3 scenario like this, you're retaking together from Connector. You don't have a smoke to work with. You do have that flashbang and those all-important kits. You can try and draw some of those teams out, but when they're already behind you, going overly aggressive, it's not going to be that much of a great situation. Glace is able to find the headshot on towards Tommy at least, brings it back into a 2 versus 2, but they're going to have to start to work their way in soon. They need to force Denmark to peek into this one. Deja Vu will go out, rattles down on that AK, is able to kill him with a flurry of bullets, hammering away. Benkai as well needs to get the final frag onto play by Sandwich, and that is going to be Cadian hitting the deck once more. So Singapore, they're holding on right now.
They are holding on, but again, I mean, you look at that Splashgate, they keep salvaging the AWP for him. He's 3-1-16. He's done relatively nothing into this matchup. I mean, you can almost say the same for Snappy over there at 9 kills or Glace with 10 kills, but you've got 21 kills on Valde. You've got 15 kills on Cadian and 20 kills on Glaive. They're the ones that are doing the brunt of the work right now for the Danish side, and let them continue to do what they do best, frag out. Because eventually you're going to be able to hammer home these last 3 rounds. That's just the way that it's going to be. And now Snappy's got an AWP. He's going to be looking for it over at the B-bomb site. It's just a fast push here from Singapore. Pretty standard stuff. I think Glace actually just flashed himself. They're going to start to push forward, and Snappy's got a pretty good position here, as well as Glace. And I think that Molotov actually did a tremendous amount of damage onto Tommy from Benkai. But there you go. Splashky's going to be able to find it. And now we're down into a 2 versus 2. So this is a relatively good-looking round for Singapore that they're able to recover from. And the bomb hasn't been spotted yet, but it's Cadian solo at B with no support from his teammate to find the final 2 frags. And that's going to put Denmark up to tie point with potential to go up to match point here in just a second.
That's pretty outrageous as well, the peak he went for there, obviously, as the rotate was still in motion, just going for it off the back of confidence. And this is when we know Cadian's starting to get back into his stride, because I mean, he can contest for himself. He said he wasn't happy with his performance yesterday. He felt like he didn't really live up to the standard that he knows he can play at. Today, he's coming back into it. This is the Cadian I'm expecting to see. That flamboyant AWPer, that sort of, he gives us a show. He'll roam around the map and take those fights because he knows he can back it up. And this is another one of those situations. They're trying to get early mid-control. They need to allow map control early. He's there on the receiving end. Backup of Glace with a small break in the smoke. He should be able to cause so much havoc here and really hold them back. Take down that first frag. There's Glace, that running duo. You've done essentially more than enough into the round already. It's as good as done for Denmark. Once you get those initial picks, Singapore are so broken and so confused they have to fall back. Leaves it just on Moxie as well. He has the bomb luckily, but with just an AK in his hands going up against all 5 members of Denmark, I really can't see him doing too much.
And that's a bit of a parting gift right there. I mean, Snappy was actually the only player on the Danish side to take any damage prior to that frag coming out, and he only took 3 points of damage. So that whole initial incursion in towards that mid area for Singapore only netted them 3 damage onto the Denmark side before 4 out of the 5 players were dropped. So really, you know, trying to find it, but they're not able to do so. And now Valde, he was on a FAMAS, I believe. He's going to be able to upgrade to the AK that was off of his fallen comrade at the end of that round. And now Denmark find themselves in a tremendous position here. 8 match points need to be saved from Singapore, and they haven't really shown anything in this second half at all.
So going for a bit of a deco as well here. 3 Deagles in play. You're also going to have the UMP coming out. And a Tech 9 on Deja Vu. Investing all they can into the round as it is basically the final hurrah. If they don't pick this one up, it's going to be good night. Denmark will be kicking off the day with an absolute shebang as they find their way through. And it's not really what Singapore want. You know, they want to try and keep that dream alive. They want to try and fight their way through. But let's see if that's how it's going to play out. Glace pops his way out towards mid, will hammer down a couple of bullets, takes down Splashy just 4 HP. They try and thunder their way through Connector as well. There is that setup, the dynamic duo, Cadian has backup of Valde. They should be finding these frags, but they're not. They're getting picked off. Deja Vu and Benkai coming into their own. Unfortunately for them, Snappy will be able to find one back onto him. Leaves it in a 2 versus 2 now, as actually Moxie from top mid hammers away with that. Deagle keeps it going, Mega Man. He lands the headshot on towards Glace as well. This is ridiculous, trying to roll back the years here to Source Days.
But he is down to 27 HP, and 1 bullet from the AK is going to do it. It was actually 2 because he tagged him through the pole, but that is going to finish things off for map number 1 as Valde finishes with a tremendous performance. And, you know, we talk about the player of the map. We talk about all that good stuff, and that is going to be, obviously, Valde, for me, is going to be my pick for the man of the map. And it was just that he started off slow, but he never lost that confidence. He was able to bring it right on back. But we're going to send things over to Tom and the boys at the desk to see if they can vamp things up.